At this time, the rehearsal day and time can be confirmed, if applicable. Please make sure that the client or you, if you're our point of contact, remembers to reconfirm the details with the bell tower on 34th event producer. This step is very important for our operations and plays a large role in eliminating confusion and drama. Also, please remember that dressing rooms will not be available during the rehearsal. If you're planning a wedding, now is a great time to get a list of the wedding party members, arrange the processional order, and provide a copy to the bell tower on 34th event producer. We can even help you with that. We'll only use it in case of emergency, but we've found it helps to have it. For your convenience, we have included a blank copy of processional styles in the resources section. Also at this point, we need to get a signature or an email from you, the guest planner, or the client, giving us final approval for the floor plan, including the seating chart if there is one. A quick reminder, preset salads, favors, chargers, and those kinds of things need to be accounted for if there are going to be more chairs than guests. So please do not allow the client to procrastinate on approving the final floor plan. Our operations team needs this information at least 2 weeks before the event. We also need a signature or an email from you, the planner, or from the client giving us final approval for the timeline. Too often, guest planners submit timelines to us that exceed the allotted time that was agreed upon in the bell tower contract. Remember, if invitations or a timeline provided by the planner or client does not align with the times on the final agreement, the bell tower on 34th timeline will prevail. That's why we asked you to double check the times on the invitation and make sure they lined up with what's in the contract. Now, it's equally important to do the same with the client's timeline. Please do not allow the client to procrastinate on approving the final timeline. Our operations team needs to have the final approved timeline at least 2 weeks prior to the event. The sooner, the better. No one wants a timeline failure or a floor plan failure on event day. This is also the time to let us know if any additional guests have been added to the list. As I've said, the final head count may go up, but if it goes down within 30 days of an event, there's no refund. Feel free to tell the client that we, the venue, are very strict and will need any supplemental balance they owe us before we'll allow event load-ins or a rehearsal. Clients will not be able to pay with checks or e-checks at this time. As an added precaution, we also ask that you reconfirm or give us an update for kids' meals, vendors' meals, or special food requests due to allergies or dietary restrictions. Also, please provide any details or times related specifically to buses, shuttles, limos, the getaway car, or Uber rides. And it's very important for us to know about any vendors, props, or items being delivered or dropped off before the event. Deliveries should be made during the allotted 2-hour period. There's a chance items would be turned away if you or the client arrange for it to arrive before that allotted time. Please be aware that any deliveries made outside the 2-hour window must be planned for and approved on a case-by-case basis. What's more, please don't plan to arrive early or instruct guests or vendors to arrive earlier than the contracted times. You never want to ambush our staff with guests when the setup is still underway. It makes for an embarrassing start to your otherwise wonderful event. One more thing to remember. For weddings, our dressing rooms are available for use 2 hours before the ceremony. For daytime weddings, the dressing rooms, also known as the bridal salon and groom's lounge, must be vacated at the end of the event. No breakdown time is allowed for the dressing rooms after the event. However, extended use of the dressing rooms is available at the rate of $100 per hour. This is based upon availability, and the rooms cannot be booked sooner than 1 week prior to an event. The bell tower on 34th is not responsible for lost or stolen items. I know this has been a lot to remember, but bear with me as I review additional items on your to-do list. We can prepare signage to post in the driveway the day or evening of your event. You can turn in signage requests now. Just let your event producer know. Do you have any special notes or instructions for security or the valet? They need to be turned in to the event producer. We should have the client's choices for linen and napkin folds so we can start provisioning for the event. Margarita or frozen drink machines need to be ordered at least 2 weeks in advance. Please do not request these items at the last minute. If you're organizing for a nonprofit that will be auctioning wines, the nonprofit should have received their permit from the Texas Alcoholic Beverages Commission by now. Has the client rented anything from outside vendors that will be delivered? This could include decor, linens, runners, utensils, chairs, and similar items. Please let the event producer know about rentals ahead of time, not the day of the event, so we can make all necessary arrangements on our end. When our staff isn't informed about rental items in advance, it can really throw a wrench during event setup. Does the client want coat check services? To arrange for staff, we need to know at least 3 to 4 weeks in advance, not at the last minute. How about audiovisual needs? Whether you need a laptop connection or want to use our projector, please plan for a day of testing. You can also rehearse with the equipment beginning at least 30 minutes before the event begins. It's a very good idea to include those steps in the day's timeline. If applicable, have the final monogram selections been made and approved? Have the final photo booth selections been made and approved? Please tell us about any other custom items we may need to know about. The rehearsal date and time should be finalized and reconfirmed. Now is the time to tell us if you have any special needs regarding shipping in or out. Should we be expecting any boxes, such as speaker or presentation materials? We receive quite a few deliveries. Unless you give us advance warning, we have no way of knowing what they are or who they're for. Items should not be mailed to the bell tower without our knowledge ahead of time. You'll find special instructions about how to send items to our venue in our resources section. Also, at this time, please reconfirm arrival times with vendors and remind them that their deliveries will not be accepted more than 2 hours ahead of the event. We strongly suggest delegating small event day tasks. Choose someone in the party to put out favors, to be the point person for each vendor, and to hand out tips. Please do not rely on the bell tower on 34th employees for these kinds of assignments.